Welcome. This is a small segment I will do from time to time where I will talk about things not webcomic or Kickstarter related, where I just want to give you information about upcoming comics I will review, or just about things in general I don't I don't like, or things I just want to talk about that are just out of everything I normally do. First thing I just wanted to talk about is my recording equipment, because some people informed me that in the last videos they had problems with their audio, and I'm just checking or experimenting with different equipment. So if you have if you have problems, just leave a comment and tell me with what you have problems. If it's too loud or too or something else, because I'm not sure. I don't. Or let's say it this way: the first equipment I used in my really first video was just a small clip-on mic, and even I heard that the audio wasn't perfect in that one. After that I got a very cheap USB mic, and at first I thought it worked, because I didn't have any audio problems, that the audio was too or you couldn't hear me, because every video I checked, it was a normal, for me at least, it was okay. But some people told me that the audio was too quiet, and so now I'm experimenting with some equipment. The second equipment I'm using now for, let's say, the next 2 or 3 videos is the internal mic of this USB Sound Blaster card, and let's see how it works. So if you have already problems with hearing me, then just give me a comment or send me an email that I can use something or try something else. That's the first part. The second part, I thought I don't want to do a schedule, or like I said in my introduction video, I will only do these when I have time, or when I want to do them. But after a while I thought one video per week is possible if my normal daytime job will let me get to it. So I try to do once, or let's say once per week one, but at least 2 videos a month will be done in one way or another. So I thought I'd just tell you what the next 4 comics will be, that I will do a short introduction video to, and the first one will be, or one of the upcoming ones, let's say, that will be Not a Villain by Annika Richens, and the next one will be the Mystery Babylon series by Val Holberg, and also planned is the short webcomic, or short comic Ibuki from the Era series by Irene Wiley. And after that, there's also I have also planned a special on the E-Death Angel series. So that's the next 4 you can you will see in the next few weeks. Also, some Kickstarter related stuff will happen. At least one will be with some more, or some new pins, if I get them in time. But that's the next one that's let's say scheduled. I can only do them when the items arrive, but that will be that. I have also planned a special about art books. Yeah, I said I'm not a fan of art books, but after checking some, or organizing my bookshelf, I saw I have some, and there are also some, believe it or not, I bought for myself. Even with the part I said I don't like them, but You have to, but I think it's a little bit for me that normally the most of the art books are not my cup of tea. They're just some pictures without something, and I'm not sure. This is mostly you get the art books if you buy some special editions for video games, movies, or something like that, and most of them are just let's say just plain. Let's look if I have something I can show you what I mean, but it looks like, yeah, not here anymore. Oh yeah, I have some over here. It's just okay. That one went off. It's just like let's say this is one from Assassin's Creed. It's just yeah, it's I don't know. I don't like these small flimsy books. It's nothing. I say that these are just something to fill in the big boxes. It's for me. It's just an extra, nothing special. But I have some. I have to admit, are really great books. Let's say I love big books, big art books where they're not only pictures but expanded explanations to the stories, to the world, to the characters, and maybe some other extras that are really special to the story or expanding everything to it. So yeah, I will do an extra, and I will tell you why I like specific books and why I don't like most of them. So keep an eye on out for that. I can't tell you when I will do it because, like I said, I have to plan it a little bit because I have not so much time to do them in one row. So, but that's planned. Something else I have to admit. Last week, I planned to do a new video last week, but I started playing a new game I got, and yeah, it went a little bit the way that most of the weekend I played it, and it's a game called NieR Automata. Really, to be honest, this is one game I really didn't know about until 2 or 3 months ago, and I'm normally checking every time when new games are released or if there are new games on the way. But this went totally under my radar, and I only heard it about because I'm watching a YouTube channel, Outside Xbox and Outside Extra, the sister channel, and Outside Extra played it or had a video where they played a little bit of the game, and first I thought, okay, it looks like another hack and slash game, and I just watched some of the videos just a little bit to have a little bit background noise when I work, but this caught my eye just after 1 or 2 minutes, and I was really hooked from what I saw, and it was one of the really rare cases where I after hearing it that it will come for it will be also available for PC. I pre-ordered it, and I normally don't do that. I normally buy my games when they're a little bit cheaper or somewhere in the Steam sales or something like that, because to be honest, most of the AAA titles that are on the way, or even now in the indie scene, there are really rare cases where really good games come out. And the last game I pre-ordered because I was hoping it will be a good game was Mirror's Edge, the second part of Mirror's Edge, and that was, to be honest, a really bad game. I hated what they did with this franchise, because the first one was is one of my favorite games, because it was so different, and it really worked. Yeah, it had some problems, but for me it was a game I played, I think 3 or 4 times now, and still playing it when I have time. Or let's say when I want to play something a little bit different than shooters or role-playing games. But the last game, I really had the feeling I have to pre-order it because I didn't know it before. Before that was Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect was a surprising title for me when it came out, and or better, let's say better, when it came out, I didn't feel to play it. After some time, when it was. I got it cheap. I don't know when. I played it, and I have to admit, I loved the story. So after hearing that the second part will come out, I pre-ordered it, and still, it's one of my it's one of my favorite games besides Deus Ex, and it's one of I really play when I have time. At least, let's say once a year, I try to play it, but it's a little bit hard with a role playing game to do that, and so yeah, that's like I said, that's the last two really games I pre-ordered, and this one really got me, and I tried. I tried to when I saw the videos, I tried to avoid every another let's play or introduction video or something like that, because I didn't want to be spoiled what the story and so, because it looked really interesting, and I have played it now for nearly 8 hours, and I have to say it's a freaking fantastic game, and I can only hope more people will play it, but it came. I think it came to a wrong time, 1 week before the release of Mass Effect Andromeda, and I think most people will avoid it for the time being. But I think it will be a classic, and let's say it's a surprise title that will get its following, but won't get the recognition at the moment that it would deserve. Why? I have to say it's because the game does or the developers tried different things, and when you start it, you will see what I mean. It's you can't say it's your typical hack and slash, because it's evolving with, or let's say it's changing it's changed the rules where when you can go. First is a hack and slash, then it's a side scroller, two and a half D side scroller, then it's shoot 'em up, then it's more a Harrier like game, and it's always changing the rules, even if you're walking around, or let's say if you're fighting a boss. And the boss fights are something I have to appreciate, or I really appreciate in this game, because they're changing the rules on the go, and it's not like they're not the hard cuts. So now we have to do something else because they're going in another, and you're fighting, and the next moment you're doing something else, and it's really they really did a fantastic job. Without, you never have the feeling that there's something just abruptly changing, because it has its own flow, and that works great. I love the sound from this game. The soundtrack is phenomenal, and I really mean, when you're outside in the open world, it's more this it changes where you are in this world, and it's a little bit, it's a quiet soundtrack, but always really fitting for the scenario you're in. And when you're fighting or in the boss fights, the music in the background is always really fitting to what's happening, and it's always pounding, and it works really. Like I said, it has its own flow, and you're in this flow when you're playing. You never have this feeling you have to concentrate on something, or it works into another, and I like it. It's also the gameplay itself. You never have the feeling that some of that when you play you're being stuck or something. It evolves with the time. At first, I have to say, the control scheme is in some ways a little bit, okay, at first a little bit not intuitive, let's say that, in some cases. Don't get me wrong, you can start the game, you will play it, you can play it, but some controls are a little bit like the small extra menu where you can change your weapons, or you can use your items. You're crossing your fingers on the controller. That I found a little bit a little bit extreme, but after a while you get these small quirks. Also, something I have to say, I think not everyone will enjoy. I personally enjoy it because it's really working. If you're in the open world segment, most parts are you walk through these destroyed buildings or through the desert, and mostly it's empty. Yeah, there are no fights, or you can search for fights. Don't get me wrong. There are enemies in some point, but not everywhere. So it's like walking through this deserted cities, or you always have this lonely and deserted feeling, and it's really working in this way. It's I think you can say it works kind of like you're playing an MMO RPG, and where you're always walking long distances, and between there are some enemies, but I think most of the games are going a little bit over the top to put an enemy around every corner, and here it's not so. So it's sometimes a little bit slow, but when you're in specific parts of the world, it's really getting. Let's say there are enough enemies to kill if you're someone who wants more action. So it's a little bit hit and miss. Like I said, also the design, because it's always changing. Some people won't like it, and I will say some people won't get or have problems to get through the introduction part of the game, because when you don't like shoot 'em ups, or some parts a little bit like bullet hell games, it could get a little bit harsh in some points. But like I said, it's a design choice you like or not like. But if what I said sounds like something you may want to play, then try it out. I will leave the video I watched as a link in the description, so you can look at it for yourself, because I wouldn't look at the trailer, to be honest, because I like I said, I played it in at least 8 hours now, and I think some things, even if I haven't reached the parts, are spoiled in the trailer, and I think even if the story isn't blown up at the moment, there are some very interesting hints here and there, and how the characters interact with another, and what's happened. There are some really interesting things going on. So it's a little bit so. Watch a video where they play the introduction, and you will see what I mean. Another thing I have to say will put people off this game is, it doesn't have an autosave. The game always reminds you to save manually, and you don't have you have the possibility to save at any time, if you have opened the save spot in the area you're in. Could get interesting when you didn't save for an hour in this game and lost all the progress. But just to say that, when you die, it's your own fault. I never had the feeling that the game did some cheap shots at you, so you will die. When I died, every time I went back, I have to say it was my own fault. I never had the feeling that the game deliberately let me die at some points. So yeah, as that could be something people won't like. And also, when you die, you start with a new body. You're playing androids in this game, so it makes sense that you just hop into a new body. But this means also you lost everything to this point. You have to find your body to get your items back. If you die again on the way to your body, then the items vanish. So also something you may or may not like in this case. Another thing I have to say, two things I like and I don't like. There's a crafting system. It's interesting. I'm not a fan of crafting systems. It works. You get a lot of items. You find them in the world. You can buy them. You get them from enemies. When you like these things, it's something I'm not bothered by that. So I use it. It's not my favorite kind of feature in the game, but like I said, nothing specific wrong about it or something that doesn't work. What I really like is the system where you can upgrade your character. There are two points. You acquire skills or experience points. You level up, and the second, you can put some. Let's say you can upgrade yourself with different chips that give you extra health, extra attack, or extra defense, or something like that. But also with this system, you can customize the game itself. Sounds a little bit strange, but let's put it this way: you have an extra chip which gives you your map, another gives you your health, will show enemy status, and so on. If you don't like it, or if you want to make the game a little bit harder, just take them out. There are some chips, if you take them out, you die. So why are they into it's a nice feature. I really like it because the option of the customize option is really interesting in this case. So if it's something really I really appreciate it, because you can also you can put chips in one or in different sets and change them. So if you have if you want to fight at the moment, or you need to fight, you can change the skill sets like your weapons at every time. So it's something that changes the game in some ways. I have heard there are also different endings, but like I said, I just started the game, so I can't say if that's what will affect the game, and also haven't seen all of the characters. So I'm really looking forward where this game will go. There are some points where I have to say I think I know where it's going, but I will let me surprise because. I think there will be some surprises on the way, and there were already some really great surprises. It has its funny moments. It has its let's say sadder moments. But all in all, it's a game I would recommend to check out if you like these kinds of games. It's not for everybody, but it's an interesting, let's say it's an interesting experience. I know it's a follow-up, or not a follow-up. It's playing in the same universe, like another game called NieR. Never played it. I saw it. Never was interested. I don't know why. But I can't tell you what's with that. Another thing I find interesting, when you play it, you see, or you feel it when you in the fight. Some of the developers of Bayonetta have worked with it, and you see it in some points, especially the fighting system, and really. Like I said, if you have the possibility, try it out. This is the PC version. One thing I heard a lot, I didn't encounter, so I can't say how what the problems are really. I heard there were a lot of problems with performance or some other things that plagued the PC version. I think I'm one of the few lucky persons who don't have any problems. I haven't I only encountered one time the game just stopped working, but I think that was because my the background program just started or did an update or something like that, and but that's the only problem I had. Nothing I can talk about. There's only one other thing I didn't like about the game. Yes, you have an open world system, but sometimes you have also a lot of invisible walls. Especially in the empty cities, it looks a little bit funny if you try to walk through a open door or open space that's large enough where you can walk through, but you just bump into a wall. But just a small problem and nothing really big. So yeah, that was all of my well, let's say all of from the first let's call it vlog in this time, and hope to see you soon. Bye.